Let's talk honestly about something that, even today, remains shrouded in mystery, silence, and, for many, unnecessary shame: masturbation in older men, particularly those aged 60 and above. Is it harmful? Can you do it? Is it healthy? But let's not settle for a one-word answer when the reality is far more fascinating and, frankly, much more important to discuss. The more compelling question is this: do men in their 60s and beyond still want to engage in sexual activity, including masturbation? And, if they do, what should we know about how it relates to sexual function, emotional well-being, physical health, particularly heart health, and overall quality of life? As a physician, I spent time exploring the clinical literature and recent data to illuminate an area of human behavior that still, surprisingly, receives little serious research attention. Yet it touches on identity, dignity, and the core of what it means to age with grace, health, and vitality. Let's begin by acknowledging what we already know. Everything in life changes with age. Our muscles, our bones, our memory, and yes, our sexual health too. Decline is a natural part of this journey, but decline does not mean disappearance, nor does it mean dysfunction is inevitable or irreversible. A landmark 2010 U.S. population-based study looked at sexual behavior in men and women between 14 and 94 years old. When we isolate the data for men aged 70 and older, it's illuminating. About 28% had masturbated within the past month, and nearly 46% had engaged in it at least once over the past year. Now, it's helpful to compare those figures to men aged 25 to 29. In that group, nearly 69% reported masturbating in the previous month, and over 83% had done so at least once in the past year. Yes, the numbers are lower in the older group, but they are far from zero. That tells us plainly the desire for sexual expression persists. A more recent study from Norway, published in 2021, reconfirmed these findings. Out of over 4,000 participants aged 18 to 90, a subgroup of around 350 men over 70 painted a similar picture. About 23.5% had masturbated in the prior month. Curiously, the lowest reported rates of masturbation were in men under 30. That's right! Only about 4.5% of men under 30 in that group had masturbated in the prior month. It's an unexpected twist, isn't it? So, why might that be? The reasons, as we are learning, aren't purely biological. They involve mental health, emotional wellness, partnerships, medication use, and even societal norms and personal stress. The idea that masturbation is always about sexual satisfaction is overly simplistic. Scientific studies now indicate clearly that the motivations behind masturbation are diverse. In older men, many report turning to it for reasons such as relaxation, reducing anxiety, improving sleep, or simply maintaining a sense of private intimacy. That matters. It means the act is about far more than reproductive biology or libido. It's about emotional self-care. When we look at data concerning sexual desire, the picture becomes even more nuanced. A 2020 meta-analysis published in European Urology Focus, which included 70 different studies, found a broad range of outcomes across all age groups. While yes, there is a general trend of declining sexual interest with age, the range of individual experiences remains enormous. Between 20% and 80% of men over 70 still reported some level of sexual interest. Now let's talk about something that often occupies center stage in sexual health: erectile function. Understandably, many worry that without erections, sexual activity loses its meaning. But anatomy tells a different story. The same 2020 analysis found that between 8% and 94% of men over 70 reported erectile difficulties. That's a big range, suggesting variation in overall health, medication use, and lifestyle factors. But, and this is critical, orgasmic function does not rely entirely on having an erection. Yes, that's right. Orgasm is a separate physiological process. For many men, even those without consistent erections, it remains very much an achievable and fulfilling experience. This could be through masturbation, fantasy, or partner-based touch. Not everything has to follow the script we've come to expect in younger years. Even more fascinating is that, psychologically, older men seem to be less distressed by erectile dysfunction than younger men. In younger males, ED often feels like a crisis. Among men over 70, only about 6.5% to 45% reported being emotionally bothered by the condition. That contrasts with those in their 60s, among whom about 70% reported distress. And after age 80, the emotional burden drops even further, to around 39%. These men appear to have adapted to changes in their body and sexuality with wisdom and acceptance. Now, here's something I tell many of my patients after age 65 when it comes to sexual function. Use it or lose it. This principle absolutely applies to maintaining blood flow, nerve sensitivity, and muscular tone in the pelvic area. Sexual inactivity can lead to diminished responsiveness over time, and yes, that includes masturbation as an effective way to maintain those neurological and physical pathways. I've worked with older adults who, after years of inactivity, found new partners through dating apps or social circles, and when suddenly inspired to rekindle intimacy, they realized not all systems were go. Restarting sexual function after a long hiatus is not always easy. In some cases, structural and vascular changes to the penis, things like fibrosis or plaque buildup, become irreversible. That's why keeping the system engaged, even minimally, has real biological value. And what about the heart? That is, after all, a common concern for many older adults when considering physical activity of any form, including sex. The latest cardiology guidelines indicate that most men in reasonably good health can safely engage in sexual activity, including masturbation. However, as always, individualized assessment is key. If you have known cardiovascular risk factors, I urge you to sit down with your personal physician for a meaningful conversation. A video can't replace personalized medical advice. So, let's recap. With heart and honesty, masturbation is not harmful for older men. Far from it, it may be part of a healthy, balanced lifestyle. For those who still experience desire, it can provide emotional relief, contribute to physical health, and help maintain an engaged, dignified relationship with one's body. But just as importantly, if you no longer feel the desire to engage in it, that's completely normal too. There is no right or wrong way to age sexually. The variability among individuals is immense. What's empowering is knowing that you're not broken, you're not alone, and above all, you are not abnormal. Take care of your health, ask questions, stay connected with your body, and never let shame dictate how you feel about your natural human needs. Your body is still yours, and it still deserves respect, pleasure, and understanding. Thank you for spending this time with me. If you found this helpful, I encourage you to share it with someone who might benefit. And remember, your health isn't defined by your age. It's defined by your awareness, your choices, and how you care for yourself today. Okay. So, before you go, ask yourself one simple question. What is your health worth to you? Because on this channel, we go far beyond surface-level advice. We deliver real science, broken down by real experts, specifically tailored to men who refuse to let age define their vitality. By subscribing, you're not just hitting a button. You're investing in your knowledge, your longevity, and your quality of life. In the weeks ahead, we'll be diving deep into topics like these, which will definitely gonna help you get sexually strong and healthy like you were in your 30s. Because they say, a man and a horse never gets old. So join our growing community of men who are aging smart, strong, and informed. Click subscribe, tap the bell icon, and let's walk this journey together, one video at a time. I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Until next time, take care of yourself, your health, and your future.